The first rays of sunlight pierce through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the luxury Manhattan apartment, casting long shadows across the polished hardwood floors as a new day begins. A slender figure moves with purposeful grace, adjusting her tailored navy blazer while reviewing the morning's financial reports on her tablet.
Today's presentation will define everything. 3 months of preparation, countless sleepless nights, it all comes down to this moment.
Her reflection in the mirror shows a confident Harvard Business School graduate, but her eyes betray a hint of vulnerability as memories of recent betrayal flash through her mind. She takes a deep breath, straightens her posture, and gathers her presentation materials with practiced efficiency, each movement a testament to her professional training and determination. The imposing facade of the financial district's most prestigious building looms ahead as she strides through the morning crowd, her heels clicking purposefully against the polished marble floor. A familiar voice cuts through the morning quiet, carrying an edge of calculated charm that makes her spine stiffen.
Ready for your big moment, Emma? The board members can be quite demanding, especially with newer analysts.
Thank you for your concern, Brad. But I believe my analysis will speak for itself.
The elevator doors open to reveal Olivia, her auburn hair perfectly styled, wearing a designer suit that screams new money and ambition.
Emma, darling. I absolutely love what you've done with your hair. Almost makes up for the last quarter's performance reviews.
Her fingers tighten almost imperceptibly around her tablet as she maintains her professional composure, refusing to let the calculated barb find its mark. The office buzzes with pre-presentation energy as she makes her way to her desk, ignoring the whispered conversations that fall silent as she passes. She boots up her computer and begins her final review of the presentation, each slide a testament to months of meticulous research and analysis. A group of junior analysts hover around Olivia's desk, their laughter just loud enough to carry across the open office space, punctuated by meaningful glances in Emma's direction. The presentation room's tech setup presents an unexpected challenge as the primary display refuses to recognize her laptop connection.
There's always a backup plan. Always.
The boardroom fills with executive presence as Brad commands attention at the head of the table, his perfectly tailored suit and practiced smile marking his territory.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be reviewing a comprehensive analysis of market penetration strategies for our Asian expansion.
A latecomer slips quietly into the room, a distinguished-looking man in his early 30s, whose presence somehow shifts the room's energy despite his understated entrance. She begins her presentation with practiced grace, her voice steady and confident as she outlines the key findings of her market analysis.
Our research indicates a 47% potential market growth in the Southeast Asian region, with particularly strong opportunities in emerging tech sectors.
A slight smirk crosses Brad's face as he notices the first signs of data discrepancy appearing on the main screen, his carefully laid trap beginning to unfold. Olivia's manicured fingers tap rapidly on her tablet, discreetly ensuring the manipulated data continues to populate through the presentation system. A momentary flash of confusion crosses Emma's face as she notices the numbers on screen don't match her prepared notes, but she recovers with professional composure.
Excuse me, Emma, but these projections seem to contradict our historical data. Could you explain the discrepancy?
I assure you, the original analysis was based on comprehensive market research and verified data sources. Let me pull up the supporting documentation.
Perhaps we should take a brief pause. Technical difficulties can be so frustrating.
The mysterious latecomer leans forward, his dark eyes scanning the conflicting data with keen interest, his presence drawing attention without saying a word.
I notice your original methodology follows the Goldmanson market penetration model. The variance appears to be in the application, not the data itself.
Her eyes light up with recognition as she quickly pulls up her original calculations, fingers flying across the keyboard with renewed confidence.
If you'll direct your attention to these baseline figures, you'll see the correlation between market penetration rates and technological adoption curves.
The confident smile slips slightly from Brad's face as he watches his carefully orchestrated plan begin to unravel. Her voice grows stronger as she masterfully walks the board through complex market dynamics, her expertise shining through with each precise explanation. Jack nods approvingly, his experienced eyes catching every detail of her recovery, while his presence seems to shift the room's dynamics in her favor. Olivia shifts uncomfortably in her seat, her perfectly manicured nails now nervously tapping against her tablet as she exchanges worried glances with Brad.
Furthermore, our research indicates a 68% likelihood of accelerated market adoption in key urban centers, particularly in emerging tech hubs.
Have you considered the implications for second-tier markets? Your model seems particularly robust for scaling opportunities.
A spark of intellectual excitement flashes in her eyes as she engages with Jack's question, her response revealing deeper layers of research and understanding.
We should perhaps focus on the primary markets first. Time constraints and all.
Actually, our analysis of secondary markets reveals a fascinating ripple effect that directly impacts primary market penetration rates.
The mysterious client's eyes sparkle with interest as he leans forward, his attention fully focused on Emma's explanation of market dynamics. She smoothly transitions to her next slide, revealing a complex but beautifully organized data visualization that clearly shows the market interconnections.
These predictions seem rather optimistic. Wouldn't you agree, Brad?
Without missing a beat, Emma pulls up supporting data from 3 independent market research firms, her preparation evident in every smooth movement.
Your cross-validation methodology is particularly impressive. Have you considered publishing these findings in the Journal of Market Strategy?
The color drains slightly from Brad's face as he realizes the board members are nodding along with Jack's assessment, his carefully planned sabotage backfiring spectacularly.
Thank you, sir. I believe market research should always prioritize rigorous methodology over convenient assumptions.
A subtle smile plays at the corners of Jack's mouth as he watches the board members' growing enthusiasm, his eyes occasionally meeting Sarah's knowing gaze from the video conference screen. She concludes her presentation with a comprehensive implementation timeline, her confident posture and clear expertise having transformed the room's initially skeptical atmosphere.
I move to approve the expansion strategy as presented, with Emma leading the implementation team.
But I'm the current project lead. This represents a significant deviation from our standard protocol.
A subtle flash of triumph crosses Emma's face as she maintains her professional composure, carefully organizing her presentation materials while the board discusses the proposal. Olivia's perfectly polished facade cracks slightly as she watches her careful plans dissolve, her manicured fingers gripping her tablet with barely concealed tension. The video conference screen shows Sarah's elegant smile as she types her vote of approval, her silver gray hair and commanding presence evident even through the digital medium.
Emma, would you be willing to stay behind for a moment? I'd like to discuss some additional aspects of your market penetration strategy.
Of course. I have some additional data points that might interest you regarding market adaptation rates in emerging economies.
Brad lingers at the doorway, his perfectly pressed suit now seeming to hang slightly less confidently on his frame as he watches the interaction between Emma and Jack.
Brad, darling, shall we discuss the quarterly marketing review over lunch?
As the room clears, Emma stands confidently at the presentation screen, her posture relaxed but professional, ready to engage in a deeper discussion about her market analysis.
Your analysis of the tech sector's growth patterns is remarkably similar to some proprietary research I've seen. Where did you learn to develop such sophisticated models?
At Harvard Business School, I specialized in emerging market analysis. But I've refined the methodology based on real-world applications over the past few years.
A knowing smile crosses his face as he pulls out a sleek business card, the understated design bearing only his name and a sophisticated tech company logo. Her eyes widen slightly as she recognizes the logo, her professional composure momentarily giving way to genuine surprise as she realizes the true identity of her morning's defender.
We're currently expanding our market analysis division. Your approach to data integration and market prediction aligns perfectly with our methodology.
Your company's reputation in the tech sector is legendary. But I have to ask, why did you choose to remain anonymous during the presentation?
Sometimes, the best way to evaluate talent is to observe how they perform when they think no one important is watching.
A moment of understanding passes between them as she processes the implications of the morning's events, her professional instincts already analyzing this unexpected opportunity.
I'd like to schedule a proper interview for next week. Sarah speaks very highly of your potential.
I would be very interested in learning more about the position. And please thank Sarah for her confidence in me.
Through the glass walls of the conference room, Brad watches the interaction with barely concealed anger, his knuckles white as he grips his phone.
Brad, we need to regroup. This wasn't supposed to happen. Your contact promised the data would be corrupted.
She's not going to get away with this. I've spent 5 years building this department.
Back at her desk, Emma opens her laptop to find an email with an elegant header, the official interview invitation from Jack's company, marked as high priority. A small smile plays at her lips as she reads the detailed position description, Director of Strategic Market Analysis, a role that perfectly matches her expertise and ambitions. Another window pops up with a video call request from Sarah, the elegant silver-haired woman's face appearing warm and knowing on the screen.
I've been watching your career with interest, Emma. Today's presentation merely confirmed what I already knew about your capabilities.
I'm honored by your attention, Ms. Richardson. I have to admit, I didn't expect today to turn out quite like this.
Sometimes the best opportunities come disguised as challenges. You proved yourself not just through your analysis, but through your grace under pressure.
Her fingers move swiftly across the keyboard as she begins drafting her response to the interview invitation, her mind already racing with possibilities for her future role.